fire. That's the hope. So that's what we're shooting for. So I don't know if you can see this or not, same thing. So what I'm doing here is I've got this great big fat grip and I've added a bunch more junk on here. Why is that? What I'm trying to do there is I'm trying to get the grip on this the same as the grip on my 1911 or my 2011 pistol. So I'm sure anybody that's been to a pistol class, excuse me, what you're looking for there is you want the interface between your last knuckle and the trigger to be 90 degrees. Okay, so that shows it pretty good, right? So it might be a little bit off, but anyways, where I'm going with all this is the reason that I added all this junk on there is to get this knuckle a little bit further away from the trigger so I just can push it straight back. I want the rifle, I want the pistol, both the two guns that require high amounts of accuracy to have good trigger interface and have them, have them be as close to the same platform across the board as I can possibly get them. Again, hopefully you don't need an oversized mag release. It's nice to have when you need it though. Magpul bad lever. Why do I have one of those? If I've been talking about not making a mag change on the clock, why is that? Here's why I have that. So if this is my downrange, okay, I just got done shooting a course fire. My whole goal as a shooter, after being safe, having a good time, and shooting the very best stage that I can, is making sure that the ROs are at ease and they don't have a good reason to be jumping in the middle of me, bothering me while I'm trying to shoot, or after I shoot. So what I've done here is the reason that I've got this in there, so if this is my downrange, RO tells me, if you're finished, unload and show clear. All right, no problem. Take the magazine out, okay? Gun's pointed downrange. Lock it to the rear, lift up on the bad lever. RO can look inside there. Yep, is it clear? Yes, it is. Okay, if clear, bolt forward, hammer down, lock it to the rear, chamber flag in, whatever you're gonna do. That whole time, I never had to do this, I never had to do this, I never had to do any of this, where there's even a remote possibility where I can break the 180. If you're working on a course of fire that goes down and bangs a right and you're a right-handed shooter and you finish shooting this way, that right there, that's a match DQ. So the whole reason for the bad lever is I can continue to keep the gun pointed downrange even through the unload and show clear process. Triggers. Okay, wow, let's talk about triggers. I'm running a slightly modified Geisley Super Super semi-automatic trigger. Basically what I've done, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this or not, is I've taken a two-stage trigger and gotten rid of the second stage. So I've got about a 13-ounce pull all the way through there. Why do I do that? I ran a single-stage trigger for a really long time. The reason I started trying a two-stage trigger is because it might be my new favorite thing and I don't even know it. So I went to it and I'm like, yeah, I really like that. But that second stage, I get in there and it's just kind of, I don't know, it feels like a stopping point to me. So what I've tried to do here, same thing with my trigger, pistol triggers, is yeah, it creeps. My pistol trigger, it creeps, well, pound and a quarter trigger, whatever, but it's nice and smooth. There's some room in there. What I'm doing there is I'm trying to give myself a little bit of extra time when I'm breaking long range shots to say, hey, Trav, pump the brakes, buddy. You still online? Have you prepped the trigger? Have you checked the sights? Yeah, I'm good. Now it's time to break that shot. So I've played with it. I've been running the trigger in this gun for about 6 years now. Same exact trigger. I love it. It's just, I really dig it. I've got a single stage in my PCC, and every time I go to shoot, man, I hate this trigger. So that's why I've got the two-stage trigger on there, where I basically rolled out the second stage of it. Buttstock, something adjustable. Something you see a lot of guys have issues with, I believe anyways. The reason a lot of guys have issues shooting long range targets isn't because the gun's not capable, or because they're not capable, or the glass isn't capable, or the ammo's not capable. It's because the gun's not set up for them. Now granted, I got a little bit different facial features, which mean I have to have mine set up a specific way, but I have yet to pick up any gun from new shooters. I mean, guys that don't have adjustable stocks, that has been anywhere even remotely close to having a good centered sight picture, when you mount the gun. The scope's 90% of the time, the scope is way too high with a good cheek weld on there. And when you go down prone, that changes it even more. So, where do we gain a lot of ground in a 3-gun match? You gain a lot of ground in a 3-gun match on the long range courses of fire. So that's why I want this gun to be set up just like my bolt gun. So when I go to those long range courses of fire, I can make hay. I can start, putting some time, some distance in between me and the guys that are behind me. That's why I've got the gun set up for this. all the rest of the shooting that I do with this gun, it's not precision for the most part. If it is, I mean, like, what are we talking about? A plate rack at 50 yards, right? So 8-inch hexes, 8-inch rounds, whatever, at 50, maybe 60 yards. That size of target is about what you're going to be shooting at until, you know, I mean, all the difference is out to 110 yards. Maybe you have to shoot a 12-inch round offhand or whatever. But that size of target is roughly what you're going to be shooting at, or bigger, in the offhand position. So that's why I set the gun up to be perfect at, you know, the distance targets. So that's why the adjustable buttstock is key there. Rear bags, this is short action precision. The other bags that I run is ESC dynamic gear. Great gear. They're nice and lightweight. They're not nearly as bad as everybody thinks they are. Yeah, like I said, when you're running a bipod and a rear bag, they're the way to go. Stand by. So yeah, set the thing up for long range and deal with everything else. Let's talk about the reticle real quick. I run 55 grain ammo for 200 yards and in. If the wind's not blowing, if the wind's blowing, I'll run 55 grains 100 yards and in. 75 grain steel case Hornady ammo for 75 and out. So I told you already, I've got a 200 yard zero, and then I've got a 300 yard hash, 4, 5, and 6, whatever it is. So what I do is I zero it at 200. But what I do is when I go shoot my 75 grain ammo, I zero the first stadia line at 300. So everybody knows that just because you've got stadia lines at 3, 4, 5, and 6, they don't necessarily line up perfectly with your ammo and your gun, right? So they're all different. So I get the best zero as I can at 200 yards, and then I make it perfect at 300 yards on the 300 yard hash. So then obviously I need to check it at 4 and 5, and then back in at 2. But I get it perfect at 3, and what that means is, you know, at 200 yards, I'm 2 inches high, and at 125 yards, I'm 3 inches high, 4 inches high. Who cares? Very rarely is that going to be an issue whatsoever. So that's a little bit about my gun setup. That's Travs Thoughts for your Thursday night. Post in the comments if you got any questions, or if there's anything else that you want to, you know, let me know what the next thing you want me to discuss is next Thursday night. Hopefully we'll keep these going. Keep spreading the good word and you know, helping out the new guys, and maybe helping out the guys that have been doing it for a while with some new information. So yeah, check it out, like the thing, do the stuff, whatever, follow it, and blah blah blah, whatever. Be safe, have fun.